Have you ever wondered if child development actually plays a role in the way we write? Hi, my name is Charles Simonis, and I will be guiding you through the wonderful world of the cognitive theory. This is for English 515 with Tiffin University. Dr. Teresa Collins provides us with a wonderful background on the cognitive theory. Many composition researchers gather the knowledge from developmental psychologists to help coin the term cognitive theory. This incorporates the use of mental activities within their writing. Many cognitive theorists have published books and scholarly articles on the development and research of the cognitive theories. People such as Andrea Lunsford and Carl Bereder have developed items like the cognitive development of the basic writer and a cognitive process theory of writing to establish the cognitive theory. According to Linda Flowers and John Hayes, the process of writing is best understood as a set of distinctive thinking processes which writers orchestrate or organize during the act of composing. This is a wonderful definition. In many ways, it's like the squirrel thinking about a nut and figuring out how to put that on paper. Dr. Teresa Collins defines the cognitive theory as a focus on the mental activity in which writers engage as they create printed texts. Now, it does not just stop here, but it can also be conducted both consciously or subconsciously. Andrea Lunsford provides a little more specific of a definition for the cognitive theory by giving more distinct detail on what kind of cognitive development it includes, this being both abstractions and conceptions, just as a Picasso painting below is a wonderful form of abstract art. Linda Flower and John Hayes believe the act of writing involves three major elements which are reflected in the three units of the model: the task environment, which involves everything outside of the student's control; the writer's long-term memory, which not only includes the topic but also knowledge of the audience; and the writing processes themselves of planning, translating, and reviewing. Andrea Lunsford provides an excellent breakdown of Lev Vygotsky's stages of concept formation. The initial syncretic stage, thinking in complexes, and true concept formation provide the basis for some of the cognitive theory. According to Lunsford, the abstract thought and synthesis is lacking among many of her students. Andrea Lunsford also gives us a sneak peek into Jean Piaget's cognitive realm. Sensory motor, pre-operational, concrete operations, and formal operations combine to form the mental development. It is important to note that Lunsford still believes that many of her students fall within the concrete operations stage. It is important to note that the cognitive theory has its own set of jargon. Process is actually a mental activity that is used to create a document, and it can be found in a hierarchical structure where any process can be embedded within another. Goal-directed thinking also involves a writer's own set of goals and is both high and low. Translation and monitor are also important words to note in the cognitive theory. Translation does not involve one language to another, but rather information from symbols. Monitor involves tracking one's actual progress within a work. It's not always another person, it can be yourself. Here we can see several male academic theorists who have contributed since the early 1900s up until now in some form or another to the cognitive theory of writing. They include the developmental psychologists of Jean Piaget, Lev Vygotsky, and Noam Chomsky, and also a more contemporary person in Carl Bereder. Several female academic theorists have also pioneered the cognitive theory. Linda Flower currently serves the Carnegie Mellon University as a professor of rhetoric. Andrea Lunsford is the director of the program in writing and rhetoric at Stanford University, and Marlene Scarnamalia holds the president's chair in education and knowledge technologies at the University of Toronto. Here we can see two examples of assignments that Dr. Teresa Collins is giving us to put into our toolbox of ideas. Writing workshops are a great way for teachers to get students to share struggles that they have, as well as reflective journals that allow students to review both failures and successes. According to Dr. Teresa Collins, concept maps are an excellent assignment that can be used in a cognitive theorist classroom. This allows students to get the jumbled up mess out of their head and put it clearly onto a piece of paper. This provides a mental visualization that allows students to figure out where they need to go with their writing. Dr. Teresa Collins provides two sound assessments for a cognitive theorist classroom. Venn diagrams provide a great way of assessing students' knowledge of comparing and contrasting two different items. A personal diary that focuses on the positive and negatives shows a different cognitive function as well. Two more assessments that cognitive theorists can use in the classroom are autobiographies and sequential sentence combining exercises. Andrea Lunsford finds that students can create sentences by using an actual pattern sentence, while autobiographies, according to Collins, can be used to provide unique thought processes. Developmental psychology and research by cognitivists have provided an important framework for the cognitive theory. Flower and Hayes make a great summation when they mention that the creativity belongs in the hands of the working, thinking writer. Ultimately, the student is the one who has the power. Many references were utilized in researching the cognitive theory. Notable elements include Teresa Collins' Major Theories of Teaching and Writing, and also Andrea Lunsford's Cognitive Development in the Basic Writer, as well as several different picture slides that required proper citations. Several other references are found throughout the presentation. The picture of Noam Chomsky, Carl Bereder, and Linda Flower all need actual proper citation. It is also important to note that some of the photos were actually released and able to be used for free and not actually require a citation.